I think this was a very important piece that we had in the Wall Street Journal today. First, because it put Jeb Bush back in the spotlight, and boy, does the Republican Party need somebody like that right now. But second of all, because it was a direct assault at that speech that you and I talked about a couple weeks ago that Barack Obama gave. Remember the one that he basically said the middle class is stuck, and the reason the middle class can't get ahead is because the rich stole all the money, and that the American dream has basically eluded the middle class. What Jeb Bush is saying here, and I think this is a very important piece, is that, look, the American dream still exists. This is a country that is aspirational. Anyone can get rich in this country if they work hard, do the right things, invest correctly. I thought it was very uplifting, and I think that's exactly the message, Martha, that Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney and Michelle Bachmann and these presidential candidates should be talking about.
It is curious who he's speaking out to. I know you say he's speaking out to the president, but he says interesting things in here. He says, we see human tragedy and we demand a regulation to prevent it. We see a criminal fraud and we demand more laws. We see an industry dying and we demand it to be saved. Each time we demand do something, anything. And he also, we should mention that, the right to rise. He says Americans are losing the right to rise in the economy and as people and as individuals, which is attributed in the very first line of this editorial by Jeb Bush to Paul Ryan. Okay, when you look this up on any Twitter feed right now, you're going to get 5 or 6 tweets by very prominent conservatives saying, "What about Jeb Bush?
No question
is he
about
flying a trial balloon right now?"
Well, I hope so. I mean, look, I'm one of these people who just says, let's have some new entrants into this race. I mean, when you've had these people running for president for so long and nobody can get over 25%, I do think there's an appetite for somebody. And, Jeb Bush is one of the kind of people that is so well known around the country, Martha, that if he were to get into this race, he could win as a write-in candidate. It's only 4 letters, right? B-U-S-H. And so I think it's an important piece. I don't think he's likely to get in the race, but there's a lot of people talking about it. And what's interesting in that piece that he wrote today is he's basically saying the American dream is alive and well in America, that anybody can pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and that it's Washington rules, regulations, spending, and debt that are impeding the path to prosperity and the path to rising income levels in this country.